What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another exclusive interview. My name is Scott Mitchell, and today I am joined by a very special guest where we are going to preview a lot of her upcoming shows, including her match against Ravenna Vein in a coffin match this Thursday night on Night Zero, Jameson Shook Show, which is going to be amazing. But
Oh
please
yeah.
welcome my guest, the head diva herself, Davina Thorne. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. It's a complete pleasure to work with you. You haven't been wrestling for long, but you're already making your mark, that's for sure.
I try. I try my hardest.
Yeah. And it's a testament for sure because the Freelance Wrestling Academy, which I know is where, you got a lot of training,
Yeah.
like they've produced some amazing talents and it looks like you're next in line and that's awesome because you're killing it. So that's awesome to see.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That means a lot. I try my hardest. Freelance is definitely a place that's produced like a lot of people. So like it means a lot to be like considered one of their like upcoming like future stars, which is cool. Yeah.
For sure. And I did want to kind of share your story in the beginning and or a little bit in the beginning of this interview.
Yeah.
And that is, I wanted to start with when and why did you first become a fan of this crazy world growing up?
So my dad and my mom actually met through like a wrestling chat room. So I was kind of like I kind of grew up around it. My dad like wasn't as much into like the newer wrestling. He used to always watch like the Attitude Era and old ECW stuff. Like he's a big ECW guy. So I guess when I was like a little kid, he used to watch that a lot around me. I never really connected though until like WrestleMania 32, which is like in my opinion, when I like really started, like that's when I was like hooked because I saw the triple threat between like Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte Flair, and I saw Sasha Banks specifically. She like anyone will tell you who knows me well, she's my favorite wrestler of all time. I think she's awesome. A lot of my character stuff I have like taken inspiration from her. So I'm a big fan of her, and I saw her and I thought she was so cool, and I was like, hell yeah, women can do this too. I didn't know that because like the wrestling my dad used to watch, like of course there were some cool people, but like he didn't really watch women's wrestling, and I feel like that's really when I was like, oh wow, like I could do this too. So then I started watching, and like I went back and watched like Bailey and Sasha's like NXT stuff, and then I loved Bailey, and like I really loved Asuka too. I thought like I just thought a lot of the women like coming up in like NXT and stuff were so cool. So they definitely inspired me. And like, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do this. But like, of course, when you're like, because I was no older than like 10 at the time. I might have been like 8 or 9. I was very young. But like, of course, when you tell your parents when you're younger, like, hey, I want to do this, like, and it's like such an ambitious thing. I feel like it's very hard for them to like believe you. They're kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, for sure. So I just wanted to do it, and then like when I got older, I kind of like stopped watching as much because I used to get like you all like like when you say you like wrestling at like school and stuff, kids will like laugh it off like that
Oh yeah.
shit's fake. Like no nobody cares. So I kind of like stopped watching it, and like it left like a big hole in my heart. I feel like because that's when I went through like some of the hardest times of my life, but like I ended up finding it again, and I found it again through being the elite and like Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks and Hangman and all them. And like I started watching AEW really heavily, and I was like, oh my God, this is like a completely different type of wrestling. I had never really known much about the independents before. So that's when I feel like I dived like really headfirst into like wrestling, like independent wrestling and all this stuff. And I was like, oh yeah, you can actually do this. Like there's schools and stuff. So that's like
Yeah.
where I started.
You got into it during a great time too, because I've gone on record on saying like I've been to two WrestleManias. I've seen a lot of great matches. Bryan Danielson and Omega in New York, that was amazing.
Oh
But
yeah.
but I gotta say the best match I ever saw live was NXT Takeover Brooklyn 2015, Sasha Banks versus Bailey.
It's
And
such a good match.
and just the fact that I was like sitting front row and I saw that live, it kind of made me realize like, women's wrestling is back, and that's actually
Yeah.
what started my love for promoting women's wrestling and promoting independent women's wrestlers to begin with also.
Hell
So
yeah.
it's awesome to see like that, they inspired the next generation like yourself, like
Yeah.
so many other amazing women's talents on the scene today. So it's super cool to
Yeah.
see that.
Hell yeah.
And I and kind of going hand in hand with that in a way. Did you have any favorites or inspirations that when you watched them, you were like, yeah, this is why I want to do what I'm doing?
Again, like Sasha Banks, Mercedes Monet is definitely like my ultimate, but Bailey for sure was like a big one for me. There's a picture of me as a little kid like getting ready to go to like an NXT live event, and I had the little, because my natural hair color is brown, so I had the little side pony in the Bailey shirt, and I was like dressed as Bailey because like I looked up to her so much. Asuka's another one that I just really like gravitated towards. I thought she was like such a badass, and like she was just so cool. Like, and she kind of started my love for like Japanese wrestling and like Japanese women's wrestling, because I'm also like a big fan of like Stardom and stuff like that. So that's really cool. And also Stardom's doing a lot of partnerships with like independent promotions right now. So I think that's really dope. And that was like definitely a cool thing to see. Um, I really like right now, I think Lyra's really good. I think she's super cool. I really like her. Bianca, she's pregnant right now, but she's always been like one of my, like, I think she's one of the best women's wrestlers of all time. Like, she's so sick. I love Rhea. I love Liv. As far as like guys, I love Kenny Omega. He's like one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. I'm also very big on like Bryan Danielson and AJ Styles. I think they're both amazing. It was very hard for me when AJ Styles retired against Gunther. That broke my heart. But that was that's definitely one. There's a lot of people. It's hard for me to like narrow down. I'm a huge Seth Rollins fan. I think he's super dope, especially like the character stuff he's been doing more recently, when he was like Seth freaking Rollins and he had like the more flamboyant character and a lot of fashion stuff I kind of took from him, and I like that inspired me a little bit. I'm a huge CM Punk mark. I live in Chicago, so go figure.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of those people really like inspired me. Oh, also, how did I forget? I love AJ Lee,
Uh,
but who doesn't?
Legend.
Oh,
All,
she's
all of them. All of them.
I'm I met AJ Lee once, and that's like my one that I never thought it would happen, but it was so cool, and she's so nice. So
That's
yeah.
awesome. So fast forward like a few years or a few months, whenever it happened, when did you decide like that this was the path you were going to take in life and compared to working like a 9 to 5 job and kind of start training at freelance?
So, I kind of always knew I was just gonna eventually end up in something like ever since I was a little kid, I never wanted a typical job. I always wanted to be like either an actor, a singer, like a wrestler. So even when I was going back and forth between wrestling, like I always wanted to be in show business. I love performing and I love storytelling a lot. So, but I think it was very apparent in my life when I was in high school and I was like really, because I have a lot of anxiety and like history of like family stuff and stuff like that. Like I don't have a great relationship with my mom. So that stuff was taking a toll on me, and I was getting bullied really bad in high school. So I remember I was like not going down the best path, and I was like looking at like wrestling schools and stuff, and I had lived in Missouri at the time, and I like was going through it, and an ad for freelance popped up on my phone, and I was like, oh my god. And I saw Kylie Ray, and I'm a huge Kylie Ray fan, so I was like, oh, this is cool. And like I didn't have the best relationship with my mom, but she lived in Chicago and like my parents were divorced. So I was like, maybe the change of scenery is what I need. So I decided to talk to my dad and be like, hey, I want to do this for me. And I was like 16 at the time, like still super young. So it's kind of weird to go to your parents and be like, hey, I want to move like to a different state to pursue wrestling. But my dad's always been super supportive, and like even when it's like you kind of have to do this on your own and see if it works or not, because it could have like blew up in my face, it could have not gone well, I could have moved back in like a month. But he's always been kind of one of those people who's like, hey, figure it out for yourself, which I really appreciate about him, and it's taught me a lot. So he was like, yeah, you can do it, like if this is what you really want, you can do it. And he has admitted to me, like in the past since then, I did not think you were going to make it. I was not a very athletic person. Like, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, but I loved wrestling like so, so much. So I moved to Chicago and started training when I was 16, and I've never looked back.
That's amazing. It's an amazing story because everything kind of has come a long way for you, and it's awesome to see that for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
And do you have any mentors who really took you under their wing and kind of turned you into the Davina that we see before us today?
Um, there's a lot, specifically like Kylie and Isaiah Velasquez have both like they've seen me since I was like 16 years old, and they kind of like took it upon themselves to like teach me and like guide me and like wrestling and stuff. So I will always credit them 100% for like the reason like I wrestle the way I wrestle. And like Isaiah's helped me a lot with the character stuff, even though like I think a lot of my character stuff is my brainchild. He kind of tweaked it and like, hey, maybe you should do this and this. So that really helps me a lot. In terms of currently, like I'll say, like I said it before, I'll gush about my boyfriend all the time. Anakin's really helped me a lot when it comes to wrestling, and like I have him watch every single one of my matches, and like I've been traveling with him a lot to like GCW and like all these different places, which I feel like is helping me grow at like a bigger scale because before I was doing a lot of Chicago stuff, and while that's cool, and like one of the things I really like about Chicago is it's a very centralized area and like a huge area for like wrestling and stuff. So there's a lot of promotions that run here, and there's a lot of big ones, and there's a lot of people that travel here. But like I think one of um the hardest things to do in indie wrestling is venture out of your comfort zone and venture out of like your city or and your state and where you're from. So I've been doing that a lot more, and it's really cool. So that's helped me a lot. Um, yeah, those are like the big ones. Everybody else, like a lot of people at the freelance school have helped me, but like I wouldn't say like so much mentor. But yeah, there's like been a lot of people who will like stop and give me advice and be like, hey, like, or watch my matches and be like, hey, you can change this, like, do this different. And like, it's a lot of constructive criticism. And like, I always really appreciate it because like, it's wrestling, like, you can always get better. So yeah.
100%. And you spoke about it a little bit there. You are a proud member of the Freelance Wrestling Academy.
Yes.
It's an amazing promotion. I'm very grateful I got to cover the promotion, work with the promotion, uh, promote the promotion. Like it's just such
Yeah.
a very fun atmosphere. It looks like I'm in New York.
Yeah.
I haven't been fortunate to get to a show live, but it just looks like a blast. Logan Square Auditorium looks like a blast.
Oh, it's wonderful. And I feel like there are like, because Logan Square used to like not be used as much, but it's used like so much now. I feel like the freelance atmosphere is just different. Because like freelance, like the people who go to freelance, not all, a lot of them aren't wrestling fans. A lot of them are just people who live in Logan Square looking for stuff to do. So it makes it different. And like, I feel like it's a different feeling when like people are watching wrestling for the first time. And like, for example, I've had matches at freelance before, and like sometimes I'm on the pre show. So I'm like the first thing people see. And like I've had people come up to me before and be like, "You were my introduction to wrestling." And like as somebody who was like introduced to wrestling by people like Sasha Banks and like people like that, like it's crazy. And it like it's still crazy that like people can watch me wrestle and like I'll have little kids come up to me and be like, "Hey, I look up to you." That is crazy to me. Especially with who my character is, because sometimes Davina is not the person to be looking up to, but it's like still really cool because like at one point I was that little girl, and like I know having that interaction with somebody like meant the world to me, so I tried to be that for like other little girls or little boys or like whoever. Like I really like pride myself on being somebody who I feel like has been through a lot and that I came out the other side and I was okay. And I just like I know not everybody's gonna know that, but like being a person that certain people can look up to and being like a public figure is very special to me. So that's cool.
That's awesome. And it's awesome that you've been through a lot. You came out stronger, came out better, and that's super cool to see because
Yeah.
we need more positive reinforcement and positive role models out there for people who are struggling with whatever the people might be struggling with in
Yeah.
life. So, yeah, that's awesome to see. And you are a student at the Freelance Wrestling Academy, of course.
Yes.
What has it been like to learn under the amazing coaches and the amazing wrestlers they have there, like guys like Trevor Outlaw, as much as he's an asshole, he's like one of the best minds for the business. And it's just
Yeah,
like
for sure.
it's just like, just seeing him and not just him, but just the mentors, the coaches. What has it been like to learn under them?
Um, it's so rewarding and so crazy. I feel like I'm insanely lucky. You talked about Trevor earlier. He's like my big brother, so like I love learning from him and like he watches my matches and stuff and he'll give me feedback and he's very cool. Like I'm a heel also, so I he's a very good heel, so I appreciate like being able to like cuz being a heel is easy, being a good heel is hard.
Oh,
So like hearing somebody who's very good at it, it like helps a lot. And like the coaches there are insanely good. Like um again, Kylie Ray is like somebody I look up to so much and she's like one of the best women's wrestlers ever in my opinion. Definitely on the indies, but she's fucking great. And she's the kindest person ever, and she will always go out of her way to help you. And like Isaiah has helped me so much, and he takes so much pride in being a trainer and like helping all of the students and we haven't done one in a second, but like when we were putting on like the student shows, like the one I debuted at and the ones before that and the one after that, he that was all him. Like there was some help, but that was mainly him. And he looks out for us, and it's really cool to have a trainer who will do that, because I've heard and I've seen a lot of trainers do differently and not exactly have the best interests for their students. So I really appreciate like having somebody who will look out for me and having people who will look out for me. And like I genuinely think like being a wrestler like in Chicago, like freelance is absolutely the place to go, because it's just I love it there so much.
it's such an amazing promotion too. Like
Yeah.
the shows are can't miss. The
Oh,
shows are
insane.
can't miss.
Yeah.
So, speaking of shows, I had a very fun interview, which you can watch for anyone who's watching this down below, with Jameson Shook recently. Uh, it's coming out tomorrow. Yours is gonna be coming out roughly the same time, so literally
Hell
back to
yeah.
back. So literally go check it out. We spoke about Night Zero, and one of the things that Jameson said was I asked him what's one of the most like underrated matches he thinks in his mind heading into this event that people should be on the lookout for. And he named your match with Ravenna Vein.
Yes.
And because he said this match might be a show stealer. Not might be, but he said this match, look out for it. It's going to be a show stealer.
Hell
And
yeah.
So I have to ask you, I want to jump right into it. On Thursday night, on July 17th, I believe that's 17th. My dates are all fucked
Yeah,
up. But yeah, Thursday night,
I get that.
16th. You will be going one-on-one with Ravenna Vein in a coffin match at Jameson Shook's Big Show Night Zero. What is your
Yes.
mindset heading into this?
Okay, my mindset is I can't lose this because I'm claustrophobic. Like that's real. No, I'm so excited. I as a wrestler love being challenged, and like a coffin match is not something you see very often, and like it's so different and such like a fun like match concept. So like when I heard I was in a coffin match, I was like, oh hell yeah, that's sick. Like I can't like I'm going to do some research after this interview, and like I'm gonna watch some coffin matches and think some strategy. But I'm also just really excited to wrestle Ravenna because she's somebody I've seen for a while. And I think like her character is just so cool, and she has such a cool presentation. And like, I've never wrestled in Tennessee before. Like, it's my debut. My grandpa's actually from Chattanooga. So that's, I don't know if I pronounced that right. So if my pronunciation is fucked up on anything, I'm so sorry because
Okay.
it's weird. Um, I cannot pronounce things for the life of me. But yeah, I am hyped. Like, I'm very excited. I haven't been this excited for a match in a really long time. And I usually really look forward to my matches because I think, like, every match is like an opportunity to learn and grow and do different things. But I am so excited and I cannot wait.
And you and Ravenna are very evenly matched, in my opinion. You guys are two of the hottest up and coming talents of on the women's wrestling scene today. What
Yes.
can we expect when we see you two face off?
Um, I think Jameson was right. I think you can expect an absolute show stealer no matter like who wins, who comes out on top. I think people are gonna want to see this match again, like maybe not in a coffin match, but like a different type of match. I think that it has the opportunity to again be like the best match on the show, and I definitely know that's my mindset coming into this match. I know it's like my mindset coming into like most matches. I try to be the best match on the show, but sometimes it's really hard, and I especially think it's hard on this card because there's like so many cool matches, and like every match has a different stipulation, which I think is like a dope concept. And like as somebody who's like a big fan of like ECW and like hardcore wrestling and stuff like that, I think it's like such a sick concept. So like I think people can expect this to be a show stealer, and I honestly expect this whole show to be a show stealer. I don't know how you can do that, but like
Can't miss show,
yes.
truly. It was nice because when I was speaking to Jameson about like so he went down to match listings and stuff like that. When we got
Yeah.
to your match, he said he had to find like the perfect opponent for Ravenna Vein because Ravenna Vein is kind of like a local there. And
Yeah.
when he was looking around, he was looking at who SCI was bringing in. He was looking at like the Action Future Showcase tournament and stuff, and he saw your name and he was like, "Yeah, this." He did his research and everything, and he was like, "This girl is going to be like the perfect."
Hell
Opponent.
yeah.
He was like, it's like a perfect first time ever matchup. It's like, so there's a
Yes.
lot of hype behind this one, and it's very, very awesome to see because this is going to be a
Yes.
fun one. This is going to be super
Yes.
fun
I'm excited.
for sure. And I was going to say too, coffin match. Does that add anything for you? Like just to be able to participate in a coffin match?
It's crazy. It definitely wasn't something I was expecting, but like it's so again, it's so different. You really don't see many coffin matches, especially on like the independents. Like it's such a different thing. So I think it adds a sense of pride and like somebody being able to trust me and being in that match type because it's not easy. It's because it's something that hasn't been done much. Like of course you can call a regular match and like it's kind of like comparatively like easy, but like you got to think of the stipulation and you got to like prepare accordingly, and like I I it just means a lot. And also it's a little scary because I am claustrophobic, so you know. But yeah, I I can't wait.
Gonna be a
It's
fun
really
one. Can
cool. Yeah.
everyone who's watching this, please make sure to go check this one out. It's gonna be awesome.
Yes.
IWTV Thursday night. Don't miss it. It's gonna be a fun show. And you have a very busy rest of July coming up, as you will also be traveling to WrestleArts on July 25th to face off with Camryn Avery. What is your
Yes.
mindset heading into this one?
I'm very excited. WrestleArts is like a place I've been wanting to go to for a second, so I am very excited for that. I also think I don't know much about Camryn Avery, but I think she's also newer, so that's always fun. I like wrestling all the new girlies. It makes me feel trusted because like I know when I was like newer, I was kind of more protected. And like I would only get matches against like certain people and like so that kind of like in sense like I feel trusted and like I'm super excited. I always love going to Indianapolis, so that's cool. There's also a lot of really cool people on the show that I like. My boyfriend's also on it, so that's cool. Always love that. Reagan Lydale, who's another one of my friends and also rivals, she's also on it, and I love her, and that'll be cool to see her. But yeah, there's a lot of super cool people on that show, so I'm really hyped.
Gonna be a fun one. I don't know
Yes,
if it's streaming or not. I hope I can see it at some point, whether they
hopefully.
post it or maybe they'll post it on YouTube or something like that. But
Yes.
yeah. But fingers crossed. That looks like a fun one. I can't wait to see that.
Yes, I'm excited.
And you will also be making your return the following week at 2 Second Wrestling, I should say, on July
Yes.
30th. What can we, and well, I don't know if a match has been announced yet. What
It
can we
hasn't.
expect from this event for you?
Second wrestling at the Cubby Bear again. I love working second. I love working the Cubby Bear. I think that's such a cool venue. It's literally like right across from Wrigley Field, which is also really cool. Um, Second has seen me through a lot of different eras. They've seen me since the beginning of my career. I feel like I've grown a lot there, and I feel like I'm gonna continue to grow there. I'm really excited to come back. I've been on a bit of a winning streak there, so hopefully, I get give Davina Thorne a championship opportunity. Come on now, but I am excited to come back, and definitely that venue will be cool because I always love wrestling there. I've only got to do it like twice. One the first time I wrestled there, it was against Nixie XS, and that was a fun match. And then I got to wrestle there. I believe it was last month actually, and I was in a fatal four way with Trentico, Maurice, and Shelly Benson. So that was a fun one. So yeah, I'm really excited to come back. It seems like every time I wrestle there, I get a really fun match. So hopefully, we'll keep that trend going.
So you recently also picked up a singles win against Nixie XS, as well as a four-way match win against some amazing and Midwest talents that you guys have out there. And so, you've been racking up these wins, and I have to ask you, what has it been like to just rack up these wins as well as to work with somebody like Nixie in singles contest, someone who is as talented and as polarizing of a figure, I guess you could say, as she is.
Um, it was really cool. I've wanted to wrestle Nixie for a long time because I feel like we're very like similar characters. So that was cool and I definitely had like a really fun time with that. I think she is like one of the best like for character work out there right now. She's just so good at like promos and like she has like such a look to her and she's such a fun person to wrestle. So like getting that win over her was definitely really cool and like wrestling her was really cool because I wasn't like Shelly was originally supposed to be in that match. I wasn't supposed to wrestle that day. I was actually just supposed to manage Sean Logan. Um but I was there and like I got that match. So that was awesome. And the four way, like definitely four ways are hard because like there's three other people, there's no rules, like anybody can win really. But like I always have a strategy going into matches and I'm a tricky one myself, so I feel like that was definitely like I knew like I was gonna strike when I had my opportunity, and I really like I had full confidence in that match. Maurice and Trentico have a little feud going, and they don't like each other, and Maurice is like so involved with Trentico that I kind of was like, if they get into something, that's kind of my opportunity to strike on one of them and get the win. And then Shelly, she's always really fun to work with. I love working with her. Our joke is we never wrestle indoors because until that match, we had never wrestled indoors. It has always been at festival shows, and it has always been when it's like almost 100 degrees. And like I love wrestling and I'm always grateful to do it. My least favorite thing to do is wrestle when it's 100 degrees. So, and outside. So that was definitely like that was cool for me and her to like get that match indoors, and like hopefully eventually we'll get a singles and like get to like run that back because I do have a really fun time working with her.
For sure. And you will be wrapping up your July on the 31st, the last day of the month, in Uprising, in Chicago for Uprising. Uprising Women's Athletes, an amazing promotion, amazing shows. Every single show is just fantastic. What can we expect from you here? Because I don't know if a match has been announced yet, but what can we
It
expect?
has not. I love working Uprising. Like when I was like coming up, it was like they just started doing the shows like when I started training and stuff. So, I saw them kind of come up as a promotion and become like, cause I hadn't really seen like a women's wrestling promotion like that in the US since Shimmer. And like I've like Shimmer is such a cool like promotion, like it did so much for women's wrestling and it did so much for independent women's wrestling. So to see a promotion that was kind of like trying to take up that task, like it's not they're not easy shoes to fill, but that was definitely cool, and I definitely like set a goal in my mind working there, and like I went to a lot of Dreamwave shows to help set up, and I went to like a few Uprising shows to set up. Granted, Uprising shows are harder to make because they are on Fridays, and I was working a job at the time because wrestling is expensive, and but like it was definitely a goal I set in mind for myself. And like being able to work there now is very rewarding because again, I think they have some of the top talent in like the US and like around the world, honestly, now because they're bringing in girls from around the world. They have this partnership with Stardom now. So it's just very cool to be seen as like somebody who's good enough to like I like to say play with the big dogs, like so that's really cool, especially since I am like so early in my career. It's definitely like I feel very trusted and they don't just let anybody on those shows, so like it's cool for me.
For sure. And seeing promotions like Uprising growing and growing and just kind of absolutely crushing it every single show, it shows the evolution of women's wrestling most importantly. Because
Yeah.
obviously the talent on the show is amazing, but the bigger picture for me has always been just putting women's wrestling more and more on the map. So what have been your thoughts on just seeing the evolution of women's wrestling and how far it has come? I mean, I know there's always further to go, obviously, but what has been your thoughts on that?
It's been really cool to see. It's cool now to like kind of feel like I'm a little bit of a part of it. Um, I like ever since I started wrestling, I just wanted to make a difference, and like I always want to make it feel like a safer place, even like especially for women because it wasn't like not like recently, but back like in the day, it wasn't like the safest place to be a woman in wrestling, and it wasn't the easiest thing either. It's not easy now by any means. Being a wrestler in general isn't really easy by any means, but like, especially I feel like being a woman sometimes it makes it harder because even though we have come so far, there is still like misogyny in some areas, and there's still some people who don't look at women as equally as they do like men, even though I feel like sometimes I go to shows and like the girls will have a better match than some of the guys, and people don't want to admit that for some reason. But I feel like we're getting way better about it now, especially with like all these girls like killing it everywhere, like AEW, WWE, Stardom, like the independents, like all these places. I feel like women's wrestling is growing, which is such a cool thing to see. TNA as well, because I feel like there's so many like great women talents. And like earlier in TNA, they like started like a whole knockouts revolution, and they were like like before WWE had it, like TNA had it. So that's definitely really cool to see and like somewhat be a part of. I just hope we continue growing and like wrestling becomes a safer place for women every day, because I know there is like some women who have left the industry because they don't feel completely safe or like stuff has happened, and like I would like it to be a safe place for everybody.
Oh, for sure. And it's come such a long way, but it is very there's always room for improvement. And for unfortunately, there's still many things that I could think of
Yeah.
off the top of my head where I'm just like, why are we still doing this
Yeah.
shit? But I digress. Like, just seeing people like you and people like everybody at Uprising and everybody at WWR Plus when they run shows, like they're putting women's wrestling on the map, and it's just awesome to see because
Yeah.
it has come a long way.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure. And I did want to give you a little bit of a chance because I know you said you love to do it. So I did want to promote Anakin a little bit in this interview.
Yes.
And I know you want to gush about him a little bit as well because he is somebody who I haven't really been on the bandwagon for a long, long time. But since I've seen his GCW run and everything he's doing at St. Louis Anarchy, since I've been working closer with Anarchy as well, like
Yes.
just he's absolutely crushing it in his own
Oh
right.
yeah.
And I was gonna say, I want to start with like, what's the story there? How did you guys meet, if you don't mind me asking?
Okay. Silly story. So, we like met a few times in passing before, and allegedly I probably was. I'm probably saying this is true because I have been in the past and I was going through a lot. Allegedly I was a bit of a bitch. But um Bloodstone actually in February he had a match with Chris Masters and I was in the scramble, and we kept like running into each other randomly. Don't know why, like there's so many people in that locker room, but for some reason we just kept crossing paths. Anyway, at the end of the show, Trent Wrigley, who's one of my best friends and like was my ride, he was dragging ass to leave as he usually does, because he's a very talkative person and he just likes to talk to everybody. um Anakin, I believe, was writing with somebody else who was also actually no, he was waiting for Nick to pay him. So he was waiting for Nick, and we just ended up in the same circle. And Calvin Kelly, who's important to this story, I don't know what happened, but there was something about braiding hair. And Anakin was trying to braid his hair, and he was not doing it correctly. So I called him out on it. And like I had a crush on him for a little while. So this is where Davina Thorne Riz kicks in. And I was like, hey, that's not how you braid hair, silly. Let me show you how to do it. And I did it correctly. And then me being the genius I am said, hey, Trent, can you take a picture of me laughing at him? So Trent did that. And I posted it on Instagram and I tagged him and he swiped up on it. And then we just been talking ever since.
That's awesome. I love that because I see how much you gush over him on Instagram, and it's just so much like I love. It's adorable.
Yeah.
I'm always a sucker for a good love story.
Yes. He's my favorite.
And I have to ask you too, just seeing everything that he's been doing in his own right, everything on GCW, I've been fortunate enough to like just follow his entire GCW run now for the most part, and seeing him involved with the Vandal 48,
Yes.
kicking Christian Napier's ass, which is awesome. Even
I
though
was there.
even though Napier, I believe, got one up on him, but we got to get
Yeah,
that brand
he
back.
did, but it's
But
okay.
what has it been like for you just to kind of see everything he's accomplishing in his own right on promotions such as GCW?
It makes me very proud. I know when we first started talking, his like he had just started working for GCW. I believe he started working there in January. We started talking February, like beginning of February. So he had just started working there. Um, and to see where like he was then to like where he is now is very insane because like GCW is like such a like hard show to get on, right? And it's such a hard show to become a regular at and such a hard show to get storylines at. Um since we've started dating, I have watched him just like blossom, like shoot like it's insane. I am so fucking proud of him. I have been there for like I was there for when he wrestled Murdoch. I was there when he like the TOS announcement happened. I was there for TOS. I was there for Cage of Survival. LA and Arizona, I was also there. The most recent loop, I was there. I try to go to like everyone I can because I know how much it means to him and also like I love GCW, so like I always like going to GCW shows because like they're like I don't think arguably I think they are the biggest independent in America right now and like it's just such like a good show and there's so many good people on there and like it's an opportunity to learn always but like just seeing him accomplish like the things he has it just it makes me very proud because I'll always be proud of him but like at the same time like I'm his girlfriend like I can say what I want but like I also am a very honest person and like it's just like it's so cool to see. It's just like I can't get over it. Like he's the coolest person ever. It's
That's all.
whatever. I'm trying to be as cool, but
No, I do being you're super cool too. So you know what? You guys are both super
like
cool.
he's the coolest, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. And just seeing like I don't know what really hooked me with him was just the entrance music. Like I was a emo kid growing up, and just
Dude,
seeing like that it's still like kind of okay to be as an adult. Like
there's
it's
a
adult.
story to that. There's a story to that too, because at Bloodstone, so RIP Berwyn Eagles Club, but if you know Berwyn Eagles Club, there's a stage, and like it's where most of the wrestlers watch the show, right? So he had his match with Chris Masters, and I was the match directly before this. But me, being the silly girl I am and having a crush, I go up to the stage and like he comes out. I am screaming his entrance music, by the way. Like I can't even deny it. Like I was vibing, and like I was just up there and I was watching him wrestle, whatever. And one of his best friends, like Noah Clover, he asked about me like Anakin asked about me. I'm trying so hard not to call him his shoot name right now because I do it. But that's why I take pauses. But his friend like exposed me and he was like, "Oh yeah, she was screaming your entrance music. Like she's totally into you." And I was like, that's kind of fucked up. Way to rat me out, Noah, but it thank you. But way to rat me out.
He ratted you.
He did rat me out without hesitation too. It's crazy.
That's awesome though. I mean, it's such a catchy song. I grew up on that song. I grew up on that music. So that lifestyle was like just
Yes.
seeing it kind of come and seeing. I think the first time I really saw him was at Anarchy. And
Yes.
then I saw him won the Gateway to Heritage Championship that night, and it ended with everyone singing that song. I was just like, "Yo, this guy, like,
Yeah.
I'm into this shit."
Hell yeah.
I'm like, I love this music, bro. It's awesome.
Hell yeah.
So, for you, looking ahead, do you have any future goals that you want to accomplish?
I have a lot. I would like to wrestle in all 50 states. I'm at 11 right now. After this weekend, I will be at 12, which honestly, in a year and a half is pretty fucking cool. In my eyes. I got one recently that I thought was going to be hard because I grew up in Arizona. So that was like a big, oh, I always want to wrestle there. Like that would be so cool. And when I went to like go help with like GCW, like for him obviously, but I was there to like help and stuff. I got put on the bonus match for Arizona, so that was sick. So that's definitely a goal. I would like to wrestle like as many places and like people as I can because I think there's always something to learn from it. And like it's just it's different. Like every place is different. Every wrestler is taught differently. Like it's just such a like you need to wrestle all these people to like learn different things. So like and I think like at a certain point that's the only way to get better. Like not saying I'm at that point because I'm still so young in my career, but like getting out there is definitely one of my like big ones. I just want to be somebody people can be like proud to be a fan of and proud to support and like I just like and like not even in wrestling, one of my biggest goals as a human is to just be a good person because I know sometimes I didn't have like good people to look up to or like good people around me. So that's one of my big goals. I always want to be somebody my friends and like my family and like people can just be proud to know and like especially like people who watch me wrestle and like are fans of like my character and stuff like that. I just want them to be proud to like look up to me and stuff. Um, and I feel like I'm doing a decent job at that. My biggest goal with wrestling is to be able to make a living off of it. I would really like to be able to like buy my dad a house and retire him because he's worked so hard to help me and my brother, especially like me. I feel like he has always been one of the biggest supporters of like my wrestling dream and stuff. So that's a big goal of mine is to like help him out and like I know, like, who doesn't hate working for corporate America? But my dad's like, he really doesn't like it, and like he's such a chill dude, and like he be stressed out a lot over his job. So like, I would really like to like help him with that.
That's very nice because a lot of times like you don't always see stuff like that when people want to get rich and famous. They want to do it for sometimes the wrong reasons. So that's super cool.
Yeah,
That's super cool that you say that. So that's awesome.
yeah.
And is there any opponents that you'd really like to square off with? Because we have such a wide variety of wrestlers out there, so many amazing names. So is there anyone you haven't really gotten the chance to yet? Or you just want to
So
run back?
I have like I have such a long list. There's so many people that I'm like I need to wrestle you like yesterday. Um, I think Mercedes Monet, obviously top of my list, would love to wrestle her. Um, Kylie Ray, Lainey Luck is killing it right now. Um, Shaza's another one that I was like, yeah, I would love to wrestle her. Gabby Forza, I'm such like a big fan of her. Her I would love for me and Anakin to wrestle her and Bear. I need somebody to make that happen. That would be so sick. Please. Please, I'm begging somebody, make it happen. Please. Um yeah, there's just so many people. They're like especially like in GCW watching those shows, um Joey Janela would be such a cool person to wrestle. I think he is genuinely one of the best independent wrestlers right now. And like on the back of that, Megan Bain, I think she's so cool. She's so good and like I would love to wrestle her. Who else? Who else? Ooh. Don't ask me who like I have a whole list that gets jumbled up all the time and I change things and da 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 da. Um, there's just so many people. I would love to wrestle Anakin again. Somebody please make that happen. My God, please. Um, there's ooh, it's hard. Those are the ones off the top of my head that I'm like, ooh, I would love to wrestle you. Oh yeah, give me Atticus Kogar. I want to beat Vandal 48's ass. Like all of them. Like I'll take all of them for fucking with my man. And just because they're all so great. So yeah. But yeah, like I have so many people.
All of those would be terrific. I can't
Hell
wait
yeah.
to see them all, truthfully, because there's so many great talents on the indies today. I mean, yeah, you can see them a lot on GCW, but then you have places like Uprising, Freelance, St. Louis Anarchy, uh, a bunch up near me, like Creator Pro, Beyond Wrestling, WWO,
Yeah.
Blitzkrieg. Like, I mean, it's
Just give
so.
me everyone at this point. Like I'll fight anybody and like everybody is like, let's go.
So, do you have any final message for anyone watching or reading this and how they can support you or follow you in any way?
I'm just like, I feel like if you look up my name, you'll find me on anything. I have a YouTube channel with a bunch of free matches. My Instagram is davina.thorne if you want to follow me there. My Facebook's Davina Thorne, I believe. Yeah, all the socials you can just find me Davina Thorne. I also have a Facebook page. Um, in terms of like final messages, if you're watching this, you obviously support me in some way, so thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm trying my best, and like I hope that like I can like make you guys proud and like proud to support me because that really does mean a lot to me. And like I'm gonna continue growing as a wrestler and as a person because that is really important. And like yeah, I hope to keep doing this forever because I really do love wrestling.
That's awesome. And for anyone watching this, everything will be linked down below. I'll link her socials. I'll link whatever she tells me to. Big Cartel. I don't know if you have Big Cartel, but I
I
could
do. I
okay
do.
link that too. You know, anything. Be sure to check out Jameson Shook Show Night Zero,
Yes. Do that.
IWTV Thursday night. Ravenna
Oh,
Vein
people.
and Davina Thorne, amazing match, amazing.
Yes.
It's gonna be a coffin match. Like, oh my God, what are we doing? Like,
Yes, somebody's gonna die and be buried in a coffin,
yeah,
dead, done. Oh no.
don't be
What will happen
claustrophobic.
if I die? I have
Don't be
bookings.
claustrophobic. It's okay.
Dude, I I really hope I'm gonna be like hyperventilating.
But anyway,
But
I do appreciate your time so much
of
because you are
course.
somebody who I have seen grow on the indies so far, and it's been a lot of fun. So I wish you lots of luck going forward for
Oh
sure.
yeah. Thank you.